What's up, my fellow game developers and unemployed people? Welcome to my channel. I'm Speaky and this is... Yo, what's up? Your goat is back. I know all of you missed me. If you're wondering what I've been doing the past weeks, is it going to be? Just the usual. As I said in the last video, I was making 3D models for the game and animations. I also overworked the third-person camera system, and I'm going to show you how I did it and how you can do it too. So if you were looking for a tutorial and you landed on my video, I'm sorry, but I think I can actually be helpful. If you're just here for the camera, you can skip ahead. I will put the timestamp on the screen.
Hey Google, remove this man's pants, please. Excuse me? Holy shit!
Let's make some 3D models. I used Blender like every game developer ever, because it's free and I'm broke as fuck. I made some drawings for the characters from 2 angles and modeled them from boxes, extruding faces and adding cuts wherever I needed to. I wanted to make them in a low poly style like this, but tried way too hard to use as little polygons as possible, making the model look awful. So in the end I just used as many polygons as I needed to achieve the look I wanted. When I was happy with the mesh, I started UV unwrapping it. Everybody online seems to hate UV unwrapping, and I thought it was kinda chill until I actually unwrapped the model I made that was not low poly. After unwrapping, I made a simple cell shader material which splits lights and shadows into hard thresholds, resulting in 2 color shading like many drawings have. Then I drew some textures for the meshes and also put them on the shader. When you're working with low polygons, textures have to do an insane amount of lifting to add details to your model. The outlines are reverse hulls, so the same mesh scaled up a bit with an unshaded black material and reversed normals, so backwards culling, meaning faces are not rendered from the back, making them see-through, always result in outlines from every angle the camera looks at it. These techniques are explained in more detail in this video by Noggy, the link is in the description. I also made some bone-driven facial expressions using textures as well, where the model can switch between eyes and mouth.
My mom is kind of homeless.
The tutorial for this is also in the description.
Everyone keeps saying I look like a chut.
After the model was done, I had to rig it. For a long time, my dumbass thought that the meta rig from Rigify was the final thing you work with, but you actually have to click generate rig to get the rig with all the controls to make animation easier. And after that, torture ensued. Weight painting. One of the worst, most painful and mentally draining things I have ever had the displeasure of doing. This shit is no joke. Making arms not clip through t-shirt sleeves is like telling Twitch streamers to not be distracted while driving. Countless hours of adding vertices out of desperation and painting tiny weights randomly on the model, hoping to fix something, and making it worse than erasing them genuinely made me want to do a Baldur's Gate 3 honor mode Dark Urge run in real life.
I'm so fucking mad, nigga. Bro, I want to kill somebody so bad, bro. That shit's pissing me off.
For mechanical hands, I made my own IK and FK controls, because I couldn't use Rigify due to his detached portal arms. These controls also worked great. After all that, I didn't even need the IK, because his hips have to rotate in a certain way and he floats anyway. After rigging, it was time to make some animations. I decided to animate without interpolation, because I wanted the animations to look hand animated, where it is common to hold drawings for more than 1 frame depending on the spacing and timing. I didn't think animating in 3D would be so similar to 2D animation, but it's basically the same thing. Here you can see an animating guide for a simple walk cycle, and here's the same key poses animated in 2s, meaning holding the same frame for 2 frames in 3D.
I'm building the next global hit game this summer.
Hello, I'm your neighbor. Goodbye, I'll see you later.
Now to the hack and slash camera. First off, this is how the camera looks, if that's what you want for your game. When I went looking for tutorials on how hack and slash cameras behave, I didn't really find anything useful. So I took one for the team and selflessly had to do some research by analyzing them in other games. So you know I booted up the DMC5. I loaded in and inspected the camera. When locked onto a target, the camera's pivot point positions itself in the middle between player and enemy. It always keeps player and enemy in frame, so it zooms out when they are further apart. When the way between them is obstructed, the camera stays on the player's side. Not gonna lie, the camera in this game isn't perfect either, and it's good enough, so I guess it's not that serious. I'm going to explain step by step how I did this in Godot. You can follow along and try to implement it into your setup, or you can just copy my code. It's on my GitHub in the description. I just can't guarantee it's good code. If you use it, maybe start that shit so I can get that developer clout. Let's start with the node setup. The camera is on a spring arm, which is a child of the camera controller. The camera controller is top level, meaning it does not inherit transforms from the player. It moves on its own to its current destination spot. The camera controller's position is the purple sphere. As you can see, it's always a bit behind and has smooth movement. In our camera, we want to avoid jagged movements at all costs. There's also a bit of overshoot when landing if the player sends its downwards velocity to the camera controller. The only thing getting rotated is the spring arm around its X and Y axes. The camera has an area and a raycast to check for visible targets. This system is based on a tutorial. Link is in the description. When not locked onto a target, it just rotates around the current spot and changes FOV based on states like sprinting. The camera also has a shake functionality based on another tutorial, which is also in the description. The second part of the system is the camera rig. The camera rig has spots which the camera can move to and turn around. It transforms with the player, so it always has the right rotation and position. You can add as many spots as you like to it, like an aiming spot on the right shoulder or a look ahead spot in front of the player. The aiming functionality is just a concept. I didn't work on it for long because I scratched it from the game, so you'll need to work on that yourself if you need it in your game. Now to the lock-on camera. To position the camera in between the player and the target, like we seen in Devil May Cry, the camera rig has a top-level node itself. This lock-on spot is visible as the blue square. When locked on, it calculates the vector from the player to the target and places it on it with the desired bias towards the player, like 50-50 in the middle or 30-70 towards the player. The camera controller gets set this point as its destination point. At the same time, the spring arm tries to slowly rotate towards the enemy and changes its spring arm length based on the distance to the player, so it zooms out the further it's away from him. A problem you can see is that the player goes off screen when the camera is at a higher angle. To fix this issue, the camera FOV also gets changed based on the distance to the player and the angle. Another obvious problem is that if there is something between player and enemy, the rig spot can end up inside the object or on the enemy side, making the player unable to see himself.
What? No, dude!
For that, the camera rig has a raycast. It aims at the target. If the raycast collides with something, it places the lock-on spot to the collision point with a small buffer at the player's side. The next problem is clipping through walls. The camera just moves towards its destination point. It doesn't care if it has to go through walls. And the spring arm then forces the camera inside the map. To counteract this, I gave the camera controller a raycast and made it try to find a way towards the destination point without going through walls. It aims the raycast in a few directions and takes a brute force approach of moving in directions it has to and can without colliding. If it can't reach the destination like this, it just teleports to it. The last thing I added, and that's not very well developed yet, you'll have to work on this yourself if you need it or wait until the next video, is external camera spots. External nodes like combat areas can set the camera controller's rig spot to an environment rig spot with different behaviors. I just made a fixed camera behavior for now, where the camera is on a spot and looks at the player, or if locked onto an enemy, on a spot between player and enemy. You can easily add more behaviors by just inheriting from the environment rig spot.
They got boiled bubble gum over there.
I already had the combat system pretty advanced from the last few videos. I just made it even easier to add new attacks and combos and visual effects. Just with the animations, the game looks kinda boring, so it was time to add a fuck ton of mediocre looking effects to make it beautiful. The claws of the stand will get a slash effect. There are a lot of tutorials that show how to make slashes. You can go watch them. Basically, you spawn a mesh and move its UV over the texture really fast. Let's see how DMC5 did it. The slash distorts the air, has some lines moving along it, and some slashes have particles flying off. I made a mesh and some shaders and animated the shader parameters with an animation player.
No way he just put in a
animation player
reference in there. Yeah, man, my
animation player.
Then I made more effects. The gameplay has to feel good, combos need to be flashy and fast, and also enable even more follow-up possibilities. I mainly focused on the aerial combos for now. For this player character, his stance ability is mainly teleportation, so that's an easy cop out to close gaps, ensuring continuous hits. I don't know how I will solve that for the other two players I'll add in the future. It feels better when stand and user are not acting at the same time, but closing each other's gaps and doing different things. To juggle the enemy in the air easier, the stand has the ability to shoot some asteroids out of a portal and a cut directly on the enemy if you hold down the light attack button for a bit and then release it. I also made this clone spawning system, but I have to optimize it because it seems to be really inefficient when spawning too many. These are all the combos that are currently in the game. That's it for now. In the next video, I will be adding multiplayer and a second player with a unique stand, moveset and playstyle. I've been working on polishing the dancing minigame. This will also be a main point of the next devlog. I also want to add a cinematic camera after battles end, NPCs, like 1 or 2 high quality epic heat actions and maybe some smear effects. I was under time pressure while making this video, so the quality is not as good as I wanted it to be. Next video will hopefully have a higher production value, but will likely take a few months to make. Please consider leaving a comment. I love reading them. I don't even care about what you write down there. Whether you write about how bad my code is, some language I don't even understand, or just schizo posting in the comment section. If you like my style of content, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Cue the outro.
Lamborghini fucking Goku trahinting fucking Vegeta.
Give me a free run that bullshit, you get a problem.